date is June 18th, 2020, and EA is holding the fourth installment of their annual presentation that utilizes live broadcasts to showcase upcoming projects and updates for their existing titles. For Skate fans, there was only one thing they were hoping to see during the hour-long broadcast, and after what looked like another year of neglect from the company and disappointment for the fans,
just one more game we would love to share. Cousin Darren, over to you.
If it's not Skate 4.
I've been let down for
Thank
years
you.
and years.
So the moment is here. We finally get to say, we're back! We're doing it! Skate's happening!
What? Oh my god! What?
Secretly got together. It's the beginning.
Skate!
The skate evolution continues.
We've
What?
been waiting years.
What?
We've secretly got together. It's the beginning. The skate evolution continues.
We've been waiting years, honestly, to make
it
the right
was
game.
finally announced. After a decade of anticipation, loud demands from the community, and a passionate fan base keeping it alive through the media, a new entry was officially on its way. Totally unknown to the fans at the time, it would be a year before the project gets an update. The new team, called Full Circle, would be composed of both ex-Black Box devs as well as fresh talent. Once the communication cycle began with internal development updates and pre-alpha highlights every couple months, the indefinite wait for release was all but beneficial for the new title. There's little that can compare to the feeling of anticipation. When it comes to something you've been anticipating as long as a new Skate, Elder Scrolls, GTA game, or even just your birthday, that long wait gives fans time to fabricate their own ideas of what their dream sequel looks like. It's amazing that you can essentially see the people that'll immediately dismiss GTA 6 at launch just by reading through forums online. In contrast to the new Skate game, fans are rather straightforward with their wishes. Prime setting around 90s to early 2000s, large Skate 2 style map with connected areas and interesting spots, simple story mode with familiar cameos and contacts, improved graphics, great soundtrack, more tricks, etc. And for what it's worth, it seems that most fans would have just been happy to play Skate 3 with a new map and slightly improved physics. And so with that being said, it wasn't like fans were expecting them to reinvent the wheel, they just wanted to see the Skate series they knew and loved reimagined on 9th generation consoles. Well, apparently someone was already skeptical about if this new Skate game was a faithful continuation of what the fans once loved.
We've been waiting years, honestly.
What? Oh my god! Wait, no, is this the mobile?
The contagious excitement of everyone else had completely skipped him. His first thought was, is it the mobile? Which for context was reported on just a couple months before this announcement in May of 2020. So the report is essentially a nothing burger. It just talks about Jason Dill getting a call from EA, them stating that they wanted to create a mobile port of Skate 3 but not actually continue the series from where they left off. Essentially all but confirming the stance EA has taken on social media up until that point, which is that they don't have any interest in continuing the series. And as it turns out, this would end up meaning a totally different thing than we originally thought. At the tail end of the absolute stinker that EA put up at EA Play 2019, there's a small tease from Greg Miller when he says,
Skate 4. I'm sorry, we just ran out of time. I'm Greg Miller.
But the funny thing is, just due to the sheer amount of disappointment from the broadcast itself, almost none of the comments even acknowledge this small tidbit at all. But I guess it is important to acknowledge that throughout the 3-hour runtime of this broadcast, there was a total of 6 games shown. But it didn't really matter if they took notice to the small tease, because it's likely the project for the new Skate game was already greenlit at that time anyway. And before anyone could start getting excited about a new Skate, product management trends that were happening with other EA titles would be a sign of what's to come for the business model of the new Skate. We're talking about absolute dumpster fires like Star Wars Battlefront 2, Anthem, Mass Effect Andromeda, and the aforementioned Battlefield 5, as executives continue to double and triple down on these surprise mechanics. We're talking about blatantly aggressive monetization that was received so horribly they actually had to walk back on it. And to the credit of these suits and ties that probably don't even know video games exist, EA has been raking in billions of dollars thanks to the monetization systems of Apex Legends, FIFA, and I'm pretty sure Madden has a pretty nice stake within that revenue as well. So like any AAA IP ran by greedy executives, the reception generally does not really matter if the numbers say otherwise. Obviously ignoring the fact that internet reception makes up a overwhelming minority of the amount of people who are funding these projects to begin with. So the live service model that's prevalent all over the industry today stems from the smash hit Fortnite Battle Royale that released all the way in 2017. Free-to-play, always-on, multiplayer-focused, live service game that prioritizes new content and updates to keep players coming back over time. Now, although the formula is the same, there's a consumer-friendly way of doing things, and there's a EA ActiBliz Take-Two way of doing things. When I think of consumer friendly, I think of games like Marvel Rivals and the Finals. They'll typically hold these events that rewards the player with an outfit or set of cosmetics, and even some currency that allows them to purchase the more premium cosmetics in the game just for playing the event. And in some cases, when you do start to put money in the game, the investment will come back to you with more value than what you originally paid for, which in turn is not psychologically tricking players into thinking they need to put more in to actually get value out. And so with that, we have Skate. It's the upcoming skateboarding game from EA, but it's not a sequel to Skate 3. It's not a follow-up with the original trilogy, but it is admittedly, by their own account, the evolution of the Skate franchise. And oddly enough, as much as they don't want to associate the trilogy with this new reboot of the series, there's a whole section on their website that you can go check out, which showcases a brief history of those games as it led into the announcement in 2020 and how development has followed since. And for anyone who was watching the teasers a few years back, you remember somebody in one of the videos saying,
"That reminds me of Skate 2.
Which is a very obvious tickle to the dedicated fan base, knowing that that game is the consensus best in the series. But alas, free-to-play with microtransactions and a mobile launch is obviously an effort to usher in a new audience of fans who otherwise were not in tune with the original trilogy. And if it wasn't obvious then it very well should be now. And in the end, although this isn't the dream game that us legacy players were hoping for, I don't think that is all bad. While we could all agree that marketing this game to everyone and their dog is not actually fulfilling any player's desires of what the new Skate could have been, it's really not that bad. And the reason that I say this is because this is our shot. The only way, realistically, this game was going to be more than just a pitch meeting is if it fit within the framework of modern gaming's typical business practices. And at the end of the day, if this game does well, if they're able to meet or even exceed expectations with this game, we know they're going to be putting real brands in. They're potentially going to be putting well-known skaters, maybe even influencers in the game. Then they might even have more in store than just seasonal events and adding cosmetics to the game. Who knows? But on the flip side, this whole idea, this whole project, or anything that could be following it is completely off the table if this game doesn't succeed. You don't have to like how it looks. You don't have to buy everything in the store. And for what it's worth, you don't even have to play it. But in all honesty, the hard truth about the new EA Skate is it's not for everybody. And it probably sounds ironic saying that after seeing the approach that they've decided to take with this game. But when I say everybody, I'm not talking about players of all genres. I'm talking about the people who have been waiting for a new Skate for so long. You don't really need a microscope to go onto YouTube or Reddit right now and see the amount of comments of people who are just not satisfied with the direction that EA has decided to take with this new entry. And of course, some of those things are subjective, but if you look even closer, you'll see that some of those folks who might also not agree with the direction of the game are still just gonna give it a shot. And one thing is for sure, no matter where you go on the internet, folks are saying that the gameplay is best in class. And since obviously you're going to be spending most of your time skating, the general gameplay loop of go here, unlock this, cosmetics, and continuing to do that while also filming your lines, because we're going to have the video editor at some point, and then going around the city and seeing the stuff that people are building. You're going to be able to play with so many of your friends with the improved lobby system. That's going to be great for content creators, streamers, etc. I'm sure they're going to add more stuff over time, like Hall of Mead and death races, skate minigame with 6 people all trying to copy one person's trick, and then of course we're going to have seasonal events and other things like that as well. So at the end of the day, I encourage everybody to make their voices heard. I think we should all strive for the skate experience that we've been waiting for over a decade now. And at this point, we really don't have much longer to go as the game officially launches in early access later this summer. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to leave a like, subscribe with the bell, as I'll be doing more video essays and content like this. And I am very interested to read your thoughts in the comment section below. And as always, I'll see you guys next time.